So we are here for the AAA, AA, High A, Single A baseball scores for Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. So we have about a month left in the Single A, High A baseball season. They end, the last day of the regular season is September 7th to Sunday, September 7th. And then for AA, it's Sunday, September 14th. And then Sunday, September 21st is AAA, last day regular season. So, yeah. We're winding down the regular seasons. And then eventually you'll have less games to talk about in scores. For the essentially you won't have any games to talk about in Sunday. Eventually you won't have I just have the postseason to talk about the division series and the championship series for leagues. A single double A, because there's 3 leagues: high A, in single A, high A, and double A there's 3 leagues, and in triple A there are only 2 leagues. So so you do with the division series, in which one team from each side of the division in the first half and second half of the season, and they do the first half and second half in minor league for playoffs, because especially when the half of the season breaks, or like all-star break for like Major League Baseball, when the teams have those 4 days off, Monday through Thursday, in order to the second half of the season, first half, second half breaks. Usually that's in minor league. That's when the teams, like a lot of teams, like will move players from up, down, stuff like that. So a lot of teams will. They want to reward teams accordingly. That's when a lot of moves could be. Some might get moved here and there because of like injuries, or you need more depth at this position, this team. But anyway, so we had Charlotte in Syracuse, and that was a rain delay in Syracuse, New York. It was called off due to rain. And then 5, Charlotte wins 6-0. They scored 3 in the first, 2 won the second, 4th, and 5th. Omaha beat Indianapolis 5-4. Omaha upsets Indianapolis, which is a bit of a stunner. Omaha scored 4 in the third, 1 in the 7th. Indianapolis scored 1 in the first, 3rd, 7th, and 8th. El Paso defeated Oklahoma City 6-7-6. Iowa beat St. Paul 7-4. I watched that one. I was going to watch the World Series, but I got rain delay, so I decided to watch this one. And St. Paul scored 1 in the 3rd. Then Iowa scored 1 in the 5th, and it was a pitcher's game. But then the problem was the starter went solid 6 innings of work. Line for St. Paul. He had solid 6 innings, but on the 7th, the starter had solid 6 innings, and then the reliever in the 7th inning just completely didn't do so hot. He had a big solid home run. And just St. Paul tried to come back in the 9th, just couldn't, as they lose 7-4. So tough break for St. Paul. That one. Norfolk 8-2 over Rochester. Buffalo 7-3 over Worcester. Columbus shuts up Gwinnett. Holds Gwinnett to 5 hits and no runs. Jacksonville, which surprised everyone by no-hitting giving Nashville a no hit, 3-hitter, and no runs, shutout, a shutout and 3 hits for Nashville. Nashville got that by Jackson pitching. And then Memphis 3-1 over Durham. Salt Lake 5-3 over Las Vegas. 5-2 Sacramento over Sugar Land. 8-3 Reno over Tacoma. Round Rock 5-3 over Albuquerque. That was there's 2 7-inning games being played today. There was 1 in the first, 3 in the fifth, 1 in the seventh for Round Rock, and 1 in the fourth and 2 in the seventh for Albuquerque. And they play 7-inning doubleheaders. But there's 2 games that have to be played, and they'll play them if it's like Round Rock. You see, the first game they played was for makeup game. July 13th was in Albuquerque, was in Round Rock, Texas. So they had to. So and if they play again, during the season at the other team's stadium, they'll just play it at, like how originally it was intended to be played in Round Rock if it was being played there. Because what they want to do in AAA, AA, high single A, is get as many games in as possible. However, they want to get in as many games as possible. However, they don't want to have to cancel them. It's more like development. They want to develop the players, get them into playing as many games as possible, and get them in. And if they don't play ever at the other team's team, they don't want to cancel it. They want to be able to play it. The only way they'll cancel it is if it's like the only way they'll absolutely cancel it is if they're not playing. If it's like a Sunday getaway day, and they're not going to be play at all, the rest of the season at any team stadium, which or like rain, stuff like that, or if they're playing their next day they play. Some teams might play early in the season, and then they may not play again until later in the season, or if they say have a doubleheader scheduled for one day, like the St. Paul Saints, my local team, has one. I had one doubleheader, and then they weren't able, and we're going to cancel it, because it's going to be the getaway day on Sunday. So just play a 7-inning game, or 9-inning game on Sunday, and then cancel the Saturday's doubleheader. Because I think the day before it got pushed to a doubleheader. One day didn't, so yeah, they don't want to. But the only way or if they play the getaway day, or if they can't make it up, play later in the season. Really in the season. Again, or something. I don't know. But we had. So yeah. Now you'll see more games getting all levels getting postponed. Being postponed. Being postponed. And I can't cancel. Completely canceled because of the rain and storms in the areas you will. Because if teams aren't playing this week, especially come later in this day, like Saturday, Sunday, you'll see more games getting like that. Because especially later in the year, they might not play each other at all. They're the last month of the season, month and a half, depending on what year, what division you're in, which play high single A. So yeah. And then we had Toledo. They destroyed Toledo 13-2 in the first game of the seventh matter. They got 7 in the third, 4 in the fifth, 1 in the first and second. Toledo got 1 in the second and 1 in the fourth. And Toledo was a closer, more competitive second game. But Toledo scored 1 in the first, 4 in the second. Toledo did 1 in the second, 2 in the third for Toledo, 1 in the fourth, third for Toledo. We get 3, 5, 4. And 2 in the fifth and sixth for Toledo. 3 in the seventh for Toledo. It was a more competitive game. That one was 9-7. We have a 12-1 over Scramble final. Scramble. Yeah, they won that one. They dominated that one. But they had 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and 4 in the fifth. So once they got their bats set, second time through the lineup, second, third time through the lineup for the team. So, anyway, they did well. And Scramble took the second game of the opener. Was the makeup of July 1st and rain delay in July 1st. On Tuesday, July 1st, they played it all the way on August 6th. And then the run-up game was July 13th, and that was a Sunday game. So they didn't be able to make it up again. They played again in Albuquerque. So they played Albuquerque versus that certain stadium. You know, like it's supposed to be like the home team this, but it's played at this team because of the rain when they make all the mini notes stuff like that. Actually, scrimmage won't be like they split that up better. So they were one team out of the three who split. The 3 dividers who split. That divider split. It was 3 in the third for the Scramble Square, 1 in the sixth, and then 3 in the third for Lehigh Valley, and then it was 4 all, and it was 1 in either the first or second for Lehigh Valley, and then 8 in the ninth for Scramble Square, and 5 in the fifth or ninth for Lehigh Valley. The Scramble Square win, so it wins the header, second game in extra innings, 29. In the light, meeting Oregon Street 1, Virtual 6-3. A 2-1 over Hartford, Harrisburg 6-0 reporting, 8-2 Akron Chesapeake, 6-1 over Somerset, 8-4 Black Sea and Axel, 9-4 Columbus over Red Sea, 7 Midland over Emerald, Tulsa 14-3 over Corpus Christi, and 10 Frisco over Rockets 2-0. Sorry, so I got 2 runs in the 10th. That was it. Montgomery 11-5 over Pensacola, 4-2 Vernon, Virginia, 8-5 Springfield or Central. In Wichita is tied now with that win for the playoff spot of the second half. The league leader they're in Texas League. The league leader in their division in Texas League has a playoff spot already. So we'll go to the second place team. They're tied right now for the second place. As Wichita won. As Wichita won 6-0. And then we have High Hopes, Jersey Home C 7-3, Brooklyn 7-4 Hudson, B2 Greensboro or Asheville, West Michigan gets 70 wins, 8-2, 9-8 Greenville Rome, Game 7 Red County, 7-3 Aberdeen Robinson, 3-9 Relates, 8-2 Subbetter Foreign, 3-0 Quad Caesar Blade, 6-4 Wisconsin, 1-0 Wolverine 5-4, 7-2 Junior Sporting, 6-3 Hillsborough Vancouver, and 1 Tri-City Everett. San Jose 9-3 over Vizsla, 6-4 0-0 Tampa, 7 Palm Beach over Denver, 8-2 8-5 over Jupiter, Lakeland 7-4 over Branson, 14-2 Augusta over Charleston, Square 6-4 for Maris, 5-1 Fayetteville, Falls of the Army, Porto Lake over Rancho Cucamonga, Fresno 10-9 over Inland Empire, and Modesto over Stockton 8-3. And then due to inclement weather, Lynchburg and Carolina have to make up that game on August 7th. Is a makeup game. And then Kannapolis or Salem and Salem are making up that doubleheader tomorrow on Thursday. And as well as Fredericksburg or Beach. It'll be like heavy rain or thunderstorms in the area. And another one due to wet grounds, which is rain, thunderstorms, type of thing. Makeup on that was Saturday makeup, so we'll make Columbia Hickory in similar makeup Saturday. In short, Columbia Kannapolis and Fredericksburg Beach meet ups on Thursday. So we have 3 double and so Columbia Hickory was already playing a doubleheader from Tuesday's games. So they had to play a doubleheader on. So both their games were their doubleheader for their first. So 2 games got pushed to doubleheaders in the Columbia Hickory series. So they're playing 4 7 games between Columbia Hickory. We have Lynchburg, Carolina. Played doubleheader. Game 1 is at 5 Eastern. Game 2 will be at 7:30. Between 7:30 and Eastern. Campus and Sam Game 1 is at 5:35 Eastern. Game 2 will be at 8:05 or 8:35 Eastern time frame. And then Fredericksburg Myrtle Beach. Game 1 will be at 6:05 Eastern. Game 2 will be at 8:35, 9:05 Eastern time. Just kind of late for the second game of the pair. Surprised it's not 5:05. And then game 2. We put game 2 at game 2 at 7:35, 8:05 Eastern. Instead, put some at 8:35 then 9:05 Eastern. Even if it's 2 hours, it'll be 8:35 Eastern. And then Columbia Hickory game 1 is at 5 Eastern. And the second game makeup of Tuesday's game will be at 7:35, maybe even 8:05 Eastern time.